In the village of Nintarvor in Sri Lanka, the time for Eid-ul-Adha has almost arrived. For Muslims across the world, this is one of the most special days in the Islamic year. 12-year-old Muhammad Shibli is up early and getting ready to go and pray the Eid prayer at the mosque. Today he is wearing his best clothes for this joyous occasion. Shibli's widowed mother, Anisa, bids him a safe journey. Without his father by his side, Shibli travels to the mosque alone. Many people in Nintarvor have relatives who perished in the tsunami. Most of them consider it a miracle that they are still alive and able to celebrate Eid. The Eid prayer is over, and Shibli and the villagers make their way home. Shortly after returning, the villagers collect the animals for Qurbani. This sacred act is done by Muslims in remembrance of Prophet Ibrahim's, peace be upon him, willingness to sacrifice his own son at God's command. The meat from these animals will be used to help feed the poor and needy. For many in this part of the world, eating meat is a luxury, and the distribution of Qurbani meat is eagerly anticipated. To help ensure that the poorest people receive a Qurbani meat parcel, a community leader will help oversee the project. Shibli waits his turn in the queue. He is the man of the house and has the responsibility of bringing home the Qurbani meat for his family. Back at home, Anisa waits for her son. Having been included on the list of those most in need, Shibli receives a family Qurbani parcel and heads home. In the city of Bamako in Mali, the day has also started off in a festive spirit. The people gather in worship under the bright sky to offer their Eid prayer. Despite it being December, the temperature here is 34 degrees Celsius. The climate means that Mali suffers from long periods of drought, leaving the land barren and dry. This causes livestock to die in large numbers, meaning meat is rare. With little crops and livestock, it is no surprise that Mali is one of the world's poorest countries. The Eid prayer is now over, and the people go to receive their Qurbani meat parcel. To make the sacrifice as painless as possible to the animal, sharpening the knives is essential. Some of the village's strongest men will be needed to hold the cattle in a safe position. This can sometimes be quite a challenge. Once the Qurbani meat has been evenly divided up, people from the community come to collect their share. One of these people is Fatumata.
Ne pare na Islamic refla depuis 2003. Akera sababu ye kanene somogo bonogola. Kalango ta fanfe. Ayendeme. Ube wari mdama. Abeke ngakusara kalula.
In a remote village in Yemen, the animals are being carefully selected for Qurbani. Only the healthiest animals are chosen. On the day of Eid, the community gather like the millions of Muslims around the world to offer the special Eid prayer. This country is one of the poorest in the Middle East. With limited access to education in this remote area, people lack the skills to work for a better future. Without this precious asset, poverty is sure to continue. Not far away in her home, Elderly widow Fatima rests in bed. She suffers from many illnesses due to her old age. There is no man or son to care for her, and she finds it very difficult to leave the house.
حتى بناتك هنا عايشت معك ولا خارج؟
لا معي علي سيرين.
هنا عليك بالبيت؟
سعي أنا سعي سيرين بالبيت. لا تقولش أنا مريضة راسي ذا الحين بقي بالدوخم على الريش. ولا أدري ما بقى ما يلقى.
يعني ما تتذكريش الأسماء؟ ما
تتذكرش أنسى قاني.
دحين ذكرتي ثلاث.
خجة. قاني مخجوجة.
ذكرتي ثلاث أمل زينب نهى إيش الرابعة؟
الرابعة.
عادي يا حق لو ما ذكرتيش مش ضروري مش طيب كيف تعيشي حياتك الآن؟
حياتي صعيبة. حياتي صعيبة مريضة. ليلة واحدة ليلة. واحدة ليلة.
واحدة ليلة.
واحدة ليلة.
Unable to make the journey herself, the community worker goes to collect Fatima's Qurbani. Every year, Muslims from around the world fulfill their religious obligation to sacrifice an animal for Eid al-Adha by donating to Islamic Relief's seasonal Qurbani program. The meat from these animals is distributed to the needy on behalf of the donors. People like Shibli, Fatumata and Fatima, who before had little hope of eating meat, can now receive the benefits of a nutritious meal. Islamic Relief started its Qurbani project in 1986 with 670 Qurbanis. The project has been increasing in size over the years and is now providing meat parcels to over 2 million people in 27 countries around the world. Eid al-Adha is a day of remembrance and joy. But this joy is often not shared by those who live on a daily diet of hunger and suffering. Your Qurbani donation can make sure that even in a poor village in Mali or in parts of tsunami-hit Sri Lanka, the poor can share in the joys of this blessed day. Islamic Relief would like to thank all its donors for their constant support and generosity. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "For every hair on the sacrificial animal, a reward will be recorded for the person making the Qurbani."